All right. Hey, welcome back to another Secure World Spotlight Series. I'm Brad Graver, president of Secure World, and today I have the pleasure of introducing the audience to Maria Graham. Maria is the one of the co-founders of a group called Mind Over Cyber, and I had the pleasure of meeting Maria at RSA at an event that this group put on and I participated in, and was really moved by their mission. So why don't we start off with, first of all, welcome, and why don't we start off with just telling us a little bit about Mind Over Cyber and how it came about.
It's an organization that's really focused on prioritizing the mental well-being of first-line defenders in our industry. So we are essentially dedicated to creating community and networking events where cybersecurity vendors, practitioners, leaders, and so on join forces essentially to invest in the mental health of our, like I said, our frontline defenders. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we have been founded since December of 2023, and have since been able to help hundreds and hundreds of practitioners find access to different mindfulness techniques and help them understand different ways that they can prioritize their own mental well-being.
It's awesome. You know, I'm struck by how this has come together so fast, right? And
yes.
and this isn't what puts food on the table for you.
No.
You know, so talk a little bit about, you know, why you think that there's unfortunately a need for this, especially in the cybersecurity industry.
Yeah, so you're totally right. 0 to 100% in a matter of weeks really is kind of what happened to us. And I think it helps to tell a little bit of a backstory. So the other co-founders and I had been on a text message chain talking about some things we were dealing with in our personal lives that weren't going so well for us towards the end of last year. And unbeknownst to us, we had all started using an application called 10% Happier to help us quickly do portable like mindfulness techniques. And we had found, all three of us in our own journeys, we had found these to be super, super helpful. And just by way of discussion, one day we were saying, you know, I wonder, I work for on my day job, I work for a managed security service provider, and I had a customer that was experiencing a pretty horrible ransomware attack. And I just kind of mentioned in passing that I just felt so bad for the practitioners I was listening to on the war room calls. They just sounded, you know, very stressed out, very burnt out, high, you know, just frantic, you know, like it didn't sound good. And I just mentioned it in passing. I said, God, it would be great if we had a mechanism to kind of show some people like this some of the things we've learned in our own journeys that can help them just in 5 minutes take a deep breath, recognize how they're feeling, and be able to calmly navigate those times of high stress and high pressure situations. And then we were like, hey, that's, you know, there's an idea, right? Maybe we should go call a couple of practitioners and see if that would be helpful. So we did. We called about 20 different chief information security officers and said, would this be helpful for you or your staff? And the feedback was overwhelmingly yes, please. If you have a way to do that and can make it accessible, we would love to have something like that or be a part of something like that.
No, yeah, I love it. I love the backstory. Thanks for sharing that. And as a participant at the sessions at RSA, I can attest to the power of it, you know, and the community of folks that were also involved. It was a safe place and one that you felt supported in, and that's why I approached you guys in terms of, hey, I'd love to expose our audience to this at our in-person events, in which, kind of leading into that, you are helping organize or are organizing a panel at our Detroit SecureWorld. Can you talk a little bit about the panel and what you hope the takeaways are for the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you again for asking us to participate. I think it's going to be very well received. So we've put together a panel of all cybersecurity industry veterans. Some are practitioners, some are leaders, some are on the human resources side of the house. But the idea is to really kind of, one, talk about why is mindfulness and mental well-being important enough for these folks to be willing to come take time out of their busy day to help me talk about it in front of a bunch of strangers. So why is it important to them? And then we're just going to hit on a couple of things like how do you as a leader cultivate resilient security teams, and how does mental well-being come into play for your teams? We're going to talk a little bit about mental health versus mental well-being, because they are very different things. Well-being being more of a state of mind. We're going to talk a little bit about things that have, experiences in their professional and personal careers that have led to their own burnout, and tips and techniques that they've incorporated into their daily practice of mindfulness. And then we're really going to lean on Emily to talk a little bit about things that practitioners can be asking their employers for in terms of access to better benefits that are easy programs to implement within an organization. So I think that's kind of the goal. Very, very casual, and I hope it'll bring a lot of dialogue.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. I like to always find out a little bit more about the person that I'm talking with. So in your free time, however much that is, what is it that you like to do? What is it that you like to do to take your mind off all this, pretty heavy stuff that you're involved in?
Yeah. So I'm an avid reader. I read while I blow dry my hair. I read all the time. So I'm an avid reader. I'll read anything and any topic, any subject. I love to read.
So you're audio book versus reading?
I have to read. I want a physical book.
Okay.
I like to have I actually had to move a whole stack of books to this chair over here before I turned my camera on, because it looked ridiculous right next to me.
Okay. Awesome. Well, again, thanks so much for all the work that you do, and let's keep spreading the word, and look forward to seeing you in Detroit.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much for supporting us and inviting us to be a part of your conference world.